It is time now to get a check of weather with Nebraska Extension's Eric Hunt. Eric, we continue through the harvest season here, knocking on the door of November. How are things looking out there as we turn to the week ahead?
Thanks, Bryce. Really weak rain chances overall, pretty quiet week overall. I want to start, though, by talking about the Ag Tech Conference in Gothenburg at the Bayer Water Center. Monday, November 24th, 9 to 5 p.m. Go to thespur.org/agconverge to register. In terms of sensible weather, we'll have a lot of troughing here across the northwestern portion of the continent coming into the central U.S. as we head to the early portion of the week. They'll open up some rain chances, particularly for the eastern two-thirds of the state. Now, we're not looking at significant amounts of rain coming for any of us, I don't think. Best chance of picking up half inch of rain would be the very eastern side of the state, getting over into Iowa. But I do think most everybody east of Panhandle has a chance at least of picking up a tenth of an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch as you get closer to Highway 281. But I don't think we're looking at any significant amounts of rain coming for anybody. So nothing that's going to really set you back from the field work for too terribly long, I don't think. Temperatures are probably going to cool off a little bit after this cold front comes through. As a matter of fact, we're not going to be super warm ahead of it. Likely be actually pretty cloudy the first three days of the week, particularly the eastern one half and two-thirds of the state. But certainly temperatures behind it look to be a little bit cooler, and I think we're going to have a chance of picking up some freezing temperatures across the entire state on Wednesday morning. So if you have not had your first freeze yet, you'll have another chance out of here early or middle portion of this next week. Looking to Halloween, again, pretty quiet weather through Halloween. And I think for trick-or-treat, other festivities, temperatures look to be mid-40s, about 50 degrees. Pretty seasonal for this time of year. I think Saturday, well, another chance of another cold front coming through may bring slight chances of rain across the state. But again, nothing significant for precipitation coming for a little while. As we get to early part of November, I think we're going to see ridging build back into the central to the western portion of the continent. That's certainly a warm and dry signal for us, and I think we may see some temperatures get back into the low to mid-70s across a portion of the state as we head into the first week of November. CBC favors drier conditions in the 8 to 14-day outlook, and again, this seems like a pretty good bet to me. And temperatures also expect to be warm, so again, especially once we get into the first part of November, I think we are looking at temperatures probably being relatively mild, and may stay that way for just a little bit. Outlook for November for temperatures, again, pretty warm, not showing as much signal for northeastern Nebraska. I feel fairly confident that most of the plains and Midwest will be relatively warm for a good portion of November. Certainly the first half of November seems to be looking pretty warm right now. CBC does show better chances of above average precipitation across the entire northern plains, a lot of the northern U.S. in general. I'm a little bit skeptical of this. I think there are some teleconnection signals that would suggest we may see that ridging be a little bit more prominent over the central portion of the continent. And if that's the case, not only are we going to be warm, we probably will be relatively dry, at least the first half of the month. At least that's the way it looks right now. But we did see some sub-freezing temperatures across the state, as I mentioned earlier. So we did see temperatures drop below freezing for the first time for a lot of us in central and parts of eastern Nebraska. And I think we'll have another chance of that middle of this next week as well. Precipitation, very good precipitation here the last 60 days across a lot of the wheat belt, including portions of west central and southwestern Nebraska. Drier here across portions of central Nebraska. And definitely, we've had some deficits over 2 inches here across portions of northeastern Nebraska. And we do actually did see some degradation of the drought monitor again up here this week. So we now have a lot of the northeastern core of the state in D1, which is moderate drought. Also saw some expansion of normal dryness across portions of central Nebraska. Soil temperatures right now across the state, mostly the 40s to mid-50s. And this is the temperature and precip roundup for the week ending October 18th, 2025. Back to you, Bryce.